question. I mean, like that.
I'm not
a lot
bypassing
of
it. I think it's a disaster. I think.
How would you put this guy back in there for 4 more years to leave the doors open?
And like it was so much better under Trump.
Yes, it was better under Trump. Are you kidding me?
It was somewhat better.
Oh, Bill.
It was somewhat better.
Bill Maher and his TDS is back, and this time on the Megyn Kelly Show. Megyn Kelly absolutely owns Bill Maher in this debate, in this discussion right here, dropping truth bombs left and right, and Bill Maher is left without anything to say. Let's see how this conversation pans out, shall we?
With us right now, and in part to me it picks up on something you said to me shortly before I came on your show after my own cancellation at NBC. And you said, you seem to me privately, you said you seem to me kind of like me right now, which is somebody without a political home. And I felt that way, and I still feel that way. I mean, I've been a registered independent forever, but I know exactly what you're saying. Just the world's lost its mind, and I certainly would never put on somebody's team jersey anymore.
Right, without a team.
Yep.
Right. And you know what? I like it that way because I don't want to be a part of a team. I mean, I would say I caucus with the Democrats more. I definitely think the right wing is much more dangerous. They don't believe in democracy anymore, and they threw their lot in with a sociopath named Donald Trump. So, you know, no, he's not.
No, I just okay. I want to talk about your feelings on Trump.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But this is how, so you and I are very similar. I feel like you're kind of a 4 and I'm a 6 on the ideological scale. We have a lot of overlap, but you're definitely still going to vote Democrat, and I'm definitely going to vote Republican. But there's enough commonality to make us shake our heads yes when the other one speaks a lot.
So you're going to vote for Trump?
I am going to vote for Trump, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even understand that. And I understand that Biden is deeply flawed, but he does believe in our way of life. And, you know, I mean, I was the one who was saying from the very beginning when everyone was laughing at me that Donald Trump will never give up power. And he didn't. He still hasn't conceded the last election. I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. You really think this is a place this country should be?
I'm not going to defend.
Bill Maher's, first of all, fix your glasses, Bill Maher. They're looking a little crooked on your face right there. But Bill Maher's TDS kicks in. It always amazes me when these lefties come here and they're all like, yeah, you know, Joe Biden, he's not perfect. It's not that the guy just isn't perfect. He's completely ruined everything. Like, he has a disastrous presidency. And the fact that these TDS lefties right here, like Bill Maher, could sit there and be like, yeah, Joe Biden, you know, he sucks, but Donald Trump's somehow worse. It all goes back to J6. He's one of these people that are brainwashed into thinking J6 was like the worst thing to happen in American history, worst thing to ever happen in American history on the face of this earth. He is one of those people. Him and Cenk Uygur and like Destiny, they need to have like a group meeting or something. What do you guys think about that? Sound off in the comment section below.
Election denialism. I'm not one of those people who believes that.
But what's more important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
That's important too, and
How about young men on college campuses getting due process when they get accused falsely of rape?
Well, I think that's a false equivalency. I think these things
bullshit. What do you mean?
I think these things are important, but you can handle these things through the normal due process of our system. But if we lose the system itself, come on.
But we didn't.
We didn't so far.
He tried it. It failed.
Right, and now he's had 4 years to put in place people who will make it work again. I don't know if there'll be a John Rafsenberger in Georgia, a noble Republican who stood up to him. He thought last time that he could count on someone being just a Republican to do his bidding. And what he found out was that there are a lot of decent people who are Republicans, which is something I'm trying to tell the Democrats all the time. You can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. And you certainly can't hate half the country. And Republicans is not a byword for bad people. And a lot of them stood up. I mean, even ones who I don't like very much, Mitt Romney, McConnell, obviously Liz Cheney, Chris Christie. There were Mike Pence. these are what I call as good as it gets Republicans. For the people who don't like Republicans, they full-throatedly said Trump lost that election. No two ways about it. McConnell said it wasn't even a particularly close election.
A lot of people said it. A lot of people said it. But look, I agree with you that the majority of the Republican Party doesn't believe that. But I do think there's a difference between it was stolen, you know, the nonsense with Dominion voting machines and all that, versus it wasn't fair. And
what wasn't fair?
The election. Don't get me started. What wasn't fair?
Okay. Well, the
How
election.
about the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story? Just for one.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Really? Oh, then we're not as alike as you think. That's a stupid non-story. I mean, yes.
Says who? There are polls that show some 10 to 12% of the electorate says they would have changed their mind had they seen it, had they known about it.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right to suppress it. But nobody gives a fuck about Hunter Biden's
when you
dick.
Say nobody, you're talking about yourself. I'm telling you, there are data to show people did care. They said they would have changed their vote.
Nobody who was going to vote for Trump anyway, or Biden anyway. I mean,
it wasn't about Hunter Biden's man parts. It was about the scandal of his corruption and his dad's corruption. Bill, I used to think that Hunter Biden was a hot mess and Joe Biden was embarrassed by him but had to deal. Now I really think he was doing Joe Biden's bidding. Joe Biden is the bad guy who sent his drug-addled son out there to collect money. That's what the laptop shows.
And that's more important than what I was bringing up about not abiding by election results, not respecting what always made this country great, the peaceful transference of power.
Is he really going back to the whole freaking election thing? Like, Megyn Kelly just brought up excellent points. Bill Maher thinks it's about, oh yeah, we really care that, I don't know, Hunter Biden does cocaine and does a lot of questionable things, to put it lightly. But it's that there were emails that are showing corruption that Joe Biden, as Megyn Kelly put it, sent his son out to just, can you get me some kickbacks? Can you get me some money? Like, had him put on this board or whatever, like a board he had no experience in, but just so he could get a paycheck and some of that money could go to Joe Biden. Yeah, Megyn Kelly was spot on. And here you have Bill Maher with it, who's out of his mind. He was like, yeah, but J6. Like, oh my, is that all you got? Is that all you got? Is all you freaking TDS sufferers got is just January 6th? Like, that really is their 9/11. I could see why they make their comparisons. It really is the worst day in history for these people.
I disagree with you on that. You're not going to get me to say it was a great thing the way Trump behaved.
I don't have to get you to agree, disagree. You're obviously someone who looks at an elephant and a mouse and cannot tell which one is bigger.
I disagree. I think that's projection by you, because I look at Joe
Biden. That's how I see you.
Well, let's talk about
why are you telling me this. I mean, this is just typical right-wing talking points. The evil Hunter Biden and the evil Joe Biden. And look, do I like them? No, I don't particularly like them. I think they're very flawed.
Listen.
It's not nearly on the scale.
You're misstating my argument. You're misstating my argument. That Hunter Biden just now on the laptop was brought up as evidence of how the election was not fair. He's not a reason necessarily to not vote for Joe Biden. The reason not to vote for Joe Biden is his policies. You're not woke. He's as woke, or at least his policies are, as they come. The open border bill? How could anybody vote for somebody who keeps this border open with the number of rapes and the number of murders and the numbers of crimes going on with these immigrants?
But again, these are the normal sorts of issues we've always had in this country that should be taken care of through the normal process we've had. You're talking about the difference between I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
How about...
I mean, I feel like we keep going around the roseberry bush about this, and we're not going to make any progress, so let's stop talking about it. But,
you keep saying sort of I'm nuts because I don't see the difference between the elephant and the mouse, and I'm telling you I identify them differently than you do. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
If you enjoy content like this, subscribe to my channel. Let's get back to it.
Okay, I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now who won that election. She will tell you. Donald Trump won the election.
Now she knows she has to because of what Trump has done.
She came out that night
in her
dark
election.
Purple suit and conceded the election.
Correct. And then spent the next 4 years trying to convince us it was not legitimate. I'm just saying, look, it's not the same as Trump. What Trump did was far more severe. I'm not going to deny that, but don't try to tell me that Hillary Clinton wasn't an election denier, and Jamie Raskin, and a whole host of Democrats who are now in prominent positions on Capitol Hill. Doesn't make it great what Trump did, but they don't have clean hands either. But you bypass the immigration question. I mean, like that.
I'm not
a lot
bypassing
of
it. I think it's a disaster.
How would you put this guy back in there for 4 more years to leave the doors open?
And like it was so much better under Trump?
Yes, it was better under Trump. Are you kidding me?
It was somewhat better.
Oh, Bill.
It was somewhat better.
Go look up the immigration rates.
Yeah, I know.
Illegal immigration rates.
I agree.
For 2020, for 19 to 20.
I'm not defending Biden on immigration. I don't understand why it's so difficult in this country to stop people coming through the border. I don't. And I watched that 60 Minutes piece they did on it a couple of months ago, and they had films of people coming through this hole and the Border Patrol just watching them and basically waving. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this country can't accomplish something like that. It doesn't seem like it's impossible. But so many things in this country.
That's what's so aggravating. We can accomplish it. We can stop what's happening at the southern border. We just won't under Joe Biden. And he keeps pretending like he has no agency on it, but he does have agency. There are a lot of executive orders he could do, just like Trump did. He won't. And you know why? It's because of the people who use the word Latinx, who are trying to lecture him that it's not humane to enforce our borders.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The left wing, because they're so afraid always of being called racist, they let that color every issue.
Or it's people like Bill Maher who think that, oh yeah, Joe Biden, he might be terrible. Immigration is horrible under him. But, or evil orange man, am I right? Evil, big, bad orange man, am I right? January 6th, orange man bad. It's because of people like Bill Maher and the people he talked about and the people like Bill Maher who think that Donald Trump is just like pretty much the reincarnation of evil German man, pretty much. Like he thinks Donald Trump is the most evilest, worst man of all time. And that's because of his Trump Derangement Syndrome. Like in these videos, it's like a fascinating look into these men's psyches, and you see the brain rot in there and the cognitive dissonance that is in their brain, that they could sit here and be like, yeah, immigration, is horrible. And then someone who's reasonable, like Megyn Kelly, someone who doesn't suffer from brain rot, will be like, okay, well, you elected this guy in here, and then Bill Maher could sit there with a straight face and be like, but it wasn't any better than Donald Trump. It objectively was better under Donald Trump, and he tried to do something about it. He tried to get the wall that Democrats blocked because he said it was too expensive. He tried to keep things under control and our border under control. But the Democrats and the lefties, the whole way, demonized him for it, calling him racist, xenophobic. Oh my goodness, there are kids in cages, but the kids in the cages. AOC's taking photo ops, crying outside the facilities. It was ridiculous. And then now you have the opposite, where pretty much the Democrats are in charge and immigration is worse than ever. How can someone sit there and say that with a straight face? Bill Maher definitely suffers from Trump Derangement Syndrome. Like I said earlier, him, Destiny, and Cenk Uygur should all start a support group or something. What do you guys think on that? Do you think they should? Do you think they should start a support group? Do you think they should televise it for us to see? I definitely would love that. If you want to see more Bill Maher TDS in action, I got a whole playlist for you right there. And if you want to see Megyn Kelly owning more people, I got a playlist for you as well.